Hey kids,
Hey,
it's Thursday night, so it must be time to pop the culture right in its fucking mouth.
ooh,
Welcome. I know, I was a little aggro. Welcome to my dog's staring at me. Welcome back, kids, to Fat Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Hey!
Oh,
Let's see if I can get her to come here and come get it. Come on. If you want it, it's right here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Right here. Come on.
there it is.
She gave you a little bit of nose. Folks, me and Mark are here, man. We're here to talk about some things. We're here to review some things. We're here to answer some questions. We're going to drink some fucking Celsius because that's how middle-aged men get it on, kids. This is our fucking high right now. It is 7:15 on the West Coast. This is going to keep me up till 2 a.m.
And I had to give myself a hard cutoff because the last time we did a show and I was pounding a fucking grape Celsius at 9 p.m., it's like 3 o'clock in the morning before I fell asleep.
Seriously. I mean, honestly, I know. Look, Celsius probably don't want me to say this, and it's probably not true. But like, this must be what it was like to do Coke in the 80s. Like, you know how Coke now is like probably super Coke compared to what it was? Maybe I'm wrong. But if it's anything like weed, it got better, right? All you ever hear about people talking about is like, oh my God, fucking weed is super weed now. I got to imagine Coke also improved the formula, new Coke.
Mm.
So I think a modern day Celsius, probably akin to a bump, if you will, in 1983.
I would also go you one further that modern day Celsius is like Coca-Cola from 1883, which is all of the cocaine is still in there.
That's true. Good point, man. I know a lot about the manufacturing of Coke because, as previously discussed, we are big fans of the food that built America. Do you know how many spinoffs there are?
How many?
The mega brands that built America,
Okay.
the toys that built America, how Disney built America.
Well, have we done the deep investigative work to find out which one is first? Because I don't know if the food that built America.
I gotta say the food is first. I think food went first. Maybe, I mean, I don't know what I'm basing that on. They got 5 seasons and the other ones don't. So I'm thinking food went first. But this series is brilliant. And I keep hearing from the folks who make it, because I worked with a lot of them on Comic Book Men. I didn't know that. Credits go so fast at the end that I didn't see like names of people that Greg Henry, Christian Palladino, like Jerry Corita, who wrote like so many episodes, man. So they heard us talking about it on one of the other episodes, and all of them reached out to be like, number one, like, thank you. Because it's like, you guys are serious fans. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me, dude? I walk around my house all day going, his name is Milton Hershey. That's the thing though, bro. So Campbell Scott does the voiceover in the food that built America and the mega brands that built America. But I went into the toys that built America, and it's a lot of the same commenters, like Adam Richman, of course.
Mm.
But the voiceover is not Campbell Scott. They couldn't get Campbell Scott to come back for the toys. He was like, look, I don't want to be pigeonholed as the guy that built America voice, but he's got the pipes for it. He makes everything sound so serious and shit.
I know that you don't watch this particular show, but it's only relevant in that Hard Knocks, which is HBO's long-running sort of football documentary series. Liev Schreiber is the voice of Hard Knocks. And so there's a moment in the most recent season, or the season right before this, where Liev Schreiber shows up onto the stadium where this team is practicing, and everybody's like, it's the fucking voice. The fucking voice are here. Like all the wide receivers are like, hey man, just say the fucking thing. Say it, say it, say it. It's like, and so in the contract negotiations, it turns out that the Bengals would come out on top. And everybody's
Good voiceover make all the difference. Hey, JC's still away. He's doing. Has he said anything yet? No. Yeah, I think I saw something on socials. No.
yeah, I think you posted a thing. Yeah.
The worst kept secret in Fat Man Beyond land kids is JC and his Jenny had their second child. Man, come on, you can't. I'm doing a thing now. You see me talking to the screen. Dogs that like a lot of people like dogs hate cats. That's their mortal enemy. Bullshit. Dogs hate screens of all kinds because they just take humans away from them and stuff. They see me looking at the screen, they don't fucking understand. She's like, who are you talking to? They think I have no friends, these dogs. They think like I'm constantly looking in a mirror and doing fucking daily affirmations and shit, like Stuart fucking Smiley or whatever.
I learned this fact. It is not about dogs, it's about cats. And because I don't have any animals, this fact had eluded me my entire life.
Yeah.
But that in nature, cats do not meow. They learned to meow because it mimics the sound of human infants. And like the manipulation level is fucking god tier of we've now taught an entire species how to make the noise that will get the attention of the people who may or may not want to feed us.
We didn't teach them that. They just learned that.
They learned it. Like nobody taught them. They just natural selection was like the ones who figure out how to meow got the shit. The ones who didn't died off. Like
I watched a video online, and we know all the videos online are absolutely fucking patently 100% true. Turn my light down. Yeah, this is a little better, a little more intimate. I'm not so old that I got to turn it all the way up. Fuck. I don't have those hardcore wrinkles yet. Dogs, as we know, came from wolves.
mm-hmm.
Wolves, for the longest time, people were like, "Oh, the lone wolf." Total myth. Wolves are pack animals. Never travel alone. If they do, they're dying or something like that. But with the guy who wrote the book on wolves originally looked at one wolf and he was like, "Oh, he's by himself," and he wrote that lone wolf shit. So in any event, wolves, somewhere in the history of human history, saw us by the fire cooking meats, whatever the fuck. So they come over and start hanging out, and we start giving them, rawhide sticks, and they become our friends. Dogs have been around us so long that they learned, quite like cats, to game the system with facial expressions. So almost every dog breed in the world can give you this shit. As George Carlin used to, "Oh, daddy, just one more treat." So there's a breed of dog that never developed the facial muscles to be able to work the eyebrows, please. What breed of dog is that?
Chihuahua.
Why would you say that?
I've just never seen one that looked pleasant.
We just lost the Chihuahua audience. You don't shit on cats and you don't shit on Chihuahua. That's how you get all those Swifties mad at you. This makes sense. And again, I watched it on fucking maybe the infographic show or something. Huskies. Do you know why?
Tell me.
Huskies always had a job. They always had a position in man's world, in humans' world. So you pull the fucking sled, we're going to feed you. That's it. No negotiations. You hear that? Coyotes. That's so they had no need. And then, at night, they're usually sleeping outside in the cold and shit, which they like. They had no need to do this shit. They had a purpose and a function and a job. They were necessary. So they didn't have to develop the hey man, please. They never had to go pathetic because we're workers.
Yeah, we earn.
I wonder if it's true, man. I gotta hope so.
I like to believe it.
Kids, I keep looking at the light. I got a new light, one that clips on. I used to have a ring light. Now this one just clips on the laptop. Look, I can go hot or cold.
Ooh.
Warm. Look at that shit. Warm, less warm. Warmer, I think. No, I gotta press another button for that. There you go. Cold.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. It's like revenge is ice to see you. Here we go. That's doing Arnold. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh damn. Now you're on Krypton right before it explodes.
That's right. This is my ultra tan look. This is my Miami look. Take it down to there. Kids, we have such a show for you. No real news going on.
It's a slow news week.
But come on, man. You see me doing the show. You can't work me like that. Not a husky.
No.
This one, just every gymnastics. Before we dive in, kids, we got one sponsor tonight. One wonderful sponsor. Once we talk about them, then it's all show for the rest of the evening. And there is no show without the good folks at Mando, everybody. You want to follow along? Do me a favor, go to shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Because there you're going to find Mando starter pack. It's perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash or the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for investors, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use the code FATMAN, all one word, FATMAN, at shopmando.com. And the good folks at Mando have been supporting Fat Man Beyond, and I support the good folks at Mando.
Oh, yeah.
I use those deodorant fucking wipes, man. I've used their roll-ons. I'm a fan. I'm not just a president of the Mando fan club. I'm also a client.
He a fan, y'all.
Yeah. This time for spring cleaning has come, kids, and to be honest, kind of excited this year. I'm gonna clean out my dungeon using Mando products. My spring clean. That's right, man. I'm gonna use Mando all over my body. I'm really excited to get rid of my old deodorant because I started using Mando whole body deodorant. Man, it's been an absolute game changer. Absolute. From the founders of Lumi, Mando whole body, Lume. Lumi. Mando whole body deodorant is helping men conquer their odor in a new way, man. I love this Mando stuff. Smells good, travels well. I'm a traveler, Mark. I'm always on the road.
I know. You're a man about the world.
Circus life under the big top. Oh, that's my worst Steve Perry ever. So as a guy who's on the road, man, I got products. I pack those products with me. And they travel very well, the Mando stuff. Smells good, keeps me less stanky. Sometimes you don't get a chance to shower, man, before you're off to the next city to do a gig. You get a shower when you get there, backstage at the gig in the green room, man. But what about that whole ride? 6 hours in a car with Jason Mewes stanking? No! Thanks to Mando.
Looking good, Lewis. Feeling good.
Feeling good, Mando. Take it.
Yeah, man. So listen, created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated, and it is clinically proven to block odor all day and control your odor for up to 72 hours. You get a solid deodorant stick or a spray deodorant. Every product is baking soda free and paraben free. They got all kinds of scents. Bourbon leather, the manliest of them all. Clover Woods, refreshing. Mount Fuji, if you're like a tall person. Or Pro Sport, if you're a sporty spice. All clinically proven to control your odor better than a shower with soap alone. So, hey, you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant right now?
I do.
You do? Well, then, hey, man, go to shopmando.com.
shopmando.com?
Hell yeah, that sounds like the right string of letters. And their starter pack is perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer to new listeners, New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code FATMAN. So 40% off that starter pack, FATMAN at shopmando.com.
We thank the good folks at Mando for sponsoring this here edition of Fat Man Beyond. They make a fine product that I use myself, proud to say. Mando! Go to Mando, shopmando.com, kids. Okay. How you been?
I've been busy, man. I've been busy.
Bragger.
Well, we're all busy.
Humble bragger. What you busy doing?
Well, you know, the deepest, darkest train continues to move. And so we're putting together, I think I may or may not have slipped.
Those who are like, what is the deepest, darkest train? Is that anal? Is that a new term for anal? Art is in the midst of filmmaking, directing, if you will. The subtle art of direction, kids. He's got jodhpurs on. He's got a little beret, and he's carrying around he's doing director hands all day long. He's carrying around a megaphone.
I am, yes. Faster, more intense.
Yeah, there you go. George Lucas School of fucking directing. How's it been? Is that what's keeping you busy? Are you on set or getting ready for something else?
We've been in post on a couple of chapters of it. We are prepping sort of early marketing materials for it. You know, so it's both production, post-production, and pre-production all at the same time. I'm also working, you know, every day on a TV show that I will talk about when I can talk about it. But like, so it's a day job plus a night job plus the other assorted fucking things that are, you know, keeping the plates spinning. I think, you know, part of this job is even though you might have a job, you're always looking for the next job. So it's all about plate spinning. And so there's like 5 or 6 really cool plates that are in the air that if any of them land without breaking, they could be very cool things.
Okay, hey, man.
Yeah.
We're gearing up on this side. I've got unless everything goes foul in the next few weeks, I've got something to do.
We
in April and May.
Can you say where you are doing it? Oh,
it was. Am I on? Let me put this shit on. Do not disturb. I can't say yet, but will. As soon as I can. Very soon, I think, probably. But it's a movie. And, yeah, I'm gonna direct too. You're not the only one, God damn it. Tomorrow, though, in the Hollywood Reporter, there's a big announcement for something that I'm working on right here in our vaunted field of comics and pop culture. I don't want to jump the gun because there's lots of art already done, and the Hollywood Reporter will be debuting that art. But it is a crossover between my comic imprint, Secret Stash Press. Do I have one handy? No. Fucking. Would you, Birdie? Like, go to lay down. Like, stop. How many sticks can she eat, man? Like, it's this. It's like, as much as like I dig the Celsius, come and get it. Here. Come on.
no,
Come on.
man.
Come on. Come on. Come on, Ari.
Fuckers can go on tour.
I mean, look, anything to earn. Fuck. Gotta pay them bills. Okay. Tomorrow morning, the announcement. 12 hours, the world's gonna know what I've been working on. And I'm so delighted for them to find out. I've had a good time doing it. I can't wait for everyone to see it.
I can't wait to read your Marvel versus DC crossover.
Malcolm's back, kids. Okay. Shall we speak on things that have aired and our thoughts on thus?
We can indeed. Are you an annual Oscar viewer? Is that a tradition you have? Do you like to watch the Oscars? Do you ever?
I have in the past, but I did not this year. And not because I'm sitting out this year. I just think we were watching the food that built America or something.
My favorite, I was watching one of those also, and it was the episode with Fritos and Herman Lay.
Yes. And his name is Herman Lay.
And you know it as a customer of the snack foods that at some point you're heading towards a collision.
Yes.
But it is the most oh shit, they're gonna fight. I know what's gonna happen. They're gonna get into it because I know that at some point there is a Frito-Lay company and you're just waiting for it to get there. It's it's Civil War, man. I know
it's like watching MCU movies when you've read the comics. Because you're like, oh, I know where this is going.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's as if I had read any of the Game of Thrones books, and I'm like, oh, is this the Red Wedding? They're doing the fucking Red Wedding. I just want to watch the Red Wedding, and I want to watch you watch the Red Wedding because I know what's gonna happen. This is gonna be the same fucking company by the end of this episode, and it's gonna blow your fucking mind. Just you wait. I'm gonna watch you watch.
You cucked while people watch for the first time. I remember watching Game of Thrones at Jason Mewes' behest. He's like, it's awesome. So I was watching that season, and we got right to that episode. And I was like, you know what? I'll watch this one until I fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep, Mark.
No, you stayed up for the whole thing?
I stayed up for the rest of the week. That was horrifying. I was like, no. Everyone was getting killed left and right. Oh my God, the last shot. Holy shit. Brutal. Why? What were your thoughts on these Oscars? Any?
The thing that I found the most interesting.
Yes.
Anora, in case you're curious but didn't watch, Anora, Sean Baker's film, starring
Sean Baker from New Jersey, who just made it much harder for the rest of us New Jersey filmmakers by winning a record-breaking 4 awards in one season for the same movie, man, for writing, directing, editing, and Best Picture on Anora.
Yeah. I think the only other person.
I didn't see that flick yet, but I did see Florida Project, which I fucking love. One of my favorite movies of all time. The performances he got out of those kids were amazing. So I can't imagine what he got out of an actual grown-up adult actor.
It is the very definition of an indie. I think the budget is something like $6.5 million. They cobbled together their financing, they made it by themselves, all of that shit. And for it to win Best Picture above studio, Universal is spending hundreds of millions of dollars to get fucking Wicked.
Wicked.
Wicked
win anything?
It won costume design and set design, I think. Production.
I mean, yes and yes, but I don't know, man. For my money, that was a lot of fucking movie and so many. This is why I stay out of this kind of thing because my tastes are
But I will say this: Anora was, as far as I can tell, at least it's definitely in my anecdotal evidence, but I think even in the large community, the only one of the Oscar movies to send a physical screener. Everything else was a link. And when you remember that the average
that's Neon, right?
Neon, yeah. The average age of the Oscar voter is something like mid-50s, if not mid-60s. Because there's all the people who are actively working, but then equal as many people who are retired, who live in the MPTF retirement home, who have aged out of the business, but can still vote. And so to send a physical screener to people who are still really good with their fucking DVD players and not great with downloading links and firing up their Apple TV and watching shit on laptops. I'm not going to say that's the only reason they won because it is a very good movie, but the campaign is half of that award, and that's a strong fucking choice.
I see. I'll show you how fucking stupid I am. Like, I'm 54. I've been in the business 31 years, but I don't know shit. I would have bet the house. I would have bet the house on Joker 2, not at the Oscars, but like if somebody was like, "We want to make Joker 2," I'd have been like, "Okay," and they're like, "Lady Gaga," I would have been like, "Okay," and it's a jukebox musical, "Okay," and I would have been wrong. I would have bet the house that Demi Moore won Best Actress.
Same.
Mikey Madison, who's I know through Harley. Harley's friends with her.
Because they were both in Once Upon a Time in
yeah, they were in Once Upon a Time. I was like, in the conventional Hollywood wisdom would be like, oh, she's got time. Like, we'll give her propers later on. But Demi Moore, who did more acting, I was that was surprising to me. Not like, and I was mad about it, but I was like, if I was a betting man, I'd have bet the house on this industry honors their own. Demi Moore been working for a red hot minute and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Been in some beloved ass movies like Ghost and A Few Good Men.
Yes.
And so on. So I would have thought, if you script the narrative, that's the way it would have went. But what do I know? I don't know shit.
Yeah, man. Same. If I was taking part in an Oscar pool, that's where I'd have put my money.
Were there any other upsets? What was the
I think people thought that might have been Chalamet's time, like his Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown.
He didn't win.
He did not win. It was as Adrian Brody.
Right. I did see that he spit his gum out. That was the big news and stuff.
Yeah,
Brody won again. Adrian Brody, hell of an
actor. And he gave apparently the longest acceptance speech in Oscars history.
Did he want people to forget that he spit his gum out? Threw it.
You'll remember this. Not how it started, but if it ever ends.
Wow. Wait a second. Who else? So, all right. So that's Best Actress, Best Actor. What was supporting?
Kieran Culkin won supporting for A Real Pain.
Oh, I thought for Succession, I was like, his performance is that good that they're like, give him an Oscar too. For A Real Pain, yeah.
And Zoe Saldana.
That's the Eisenberg's movie.
Correct.
And then Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
For the movie, did you see that movie?
I did not see that movie.
I haven't seen the movie either. My niece, Sabine, who is a massive film enthusiast, and also identifies as LGBTQ plus across the board. She has very distinct opinions on movies. I think she doesn't even like mine. I think she just likes me because I'm related to her. But she was she had thouts on Amelia Perez.
You had feelings about it. I've heard lots of people had feelings about it.
Isn't it nice though to be like, maybe it's because I'm 54. Maybe it's because like I've never really been into the vagaries of my business and stuff. But like I got no skin in the game. Like I don't care. And not in a way like I don't care. Fuck all those people. But just like, I mean, and I'm not even like, I'm taking a principled stand in as much as I'm against the idea of a best anything, blah, blah, blah. Like, you want to have your award show by all means and shit. But like, the Demi Moore thing, it wasn't like me going, what? No! It was just me going, wow, if I was writing this, that's the happy ending I assumed would have happened. Go figure.
I only really care if I have some personal connection to somebody who's up for an award.
Yeah, I would as well. Absolutely.
And I'm not going to say it happens a lot, but it's happened in the past. Like Michael Green is a friend when he was nominated for Logan for writing the screenplay. It's like, I'm gonna fucking watch and see if that dude wins. My friend Mark Harris, who I worked with at Entertainment Weekly, is married to Tony Kushner. And Tony Kushner's been nominated for screenplay like 4 times, I think. So every time he's up for one, I'm like, let's see if fucking Tony wins. I'd like to root for a person that I know. But
Wait, what?
Tony Kushner, who
You
wrote,
how do you know Tony Kushner?
Tony Kushner is married to Mark Harris, who was my boss at Entertainment Weekly for like 12 years.
Fuck out of here, man. I
Yeah.
love Angels in America.
I mean,
I saw
Angels
that
America
shit. I saw that shit, not just the HBO version, son. I saw that shit on Broadway.
on the boards.
Yeah, I saw it tread the boards. Wow, I didn't know that. He also wrote something else that I absolutely loved. What was it?
He wrote Munich. He wrote The Fablemans. He wrote West Side Story.
I mean, I liked all of those, but like there was something else he did that wasn't Angels in America where I was like, fuck. I don't know, but he's a legend. I didn't know that you knew that guy. All
Yeah,
this time, you've never been like, I was hanging out with Tony Kushner.
because I've never met Tony Kushner. I've met him twice. Lovely man. But I'm not like, hey,
yes, but if he's up for something, you're like, oh, I met that guy.
I met that guy. And also Mark Harris is always sitting next to him in the crowd. I was like, I know that guy.
Right.
Like,
Fucking
so
famous.
I'm 3 degrees away from Steven Spielberg, which I think is a win.
Look at you. The one thing again, like I ain't shitting on anybody's parade. Like, have your awards, man, and I'm happy for everybody and stuff. But the only place I'll ever find a home on the Oscars, Mark, is in the in memoriam section. Maybe. Maybe. And I've always joked that I want them to use a clip of me, not of me as Silent Bob, but a clip from one of my films, Clerks 2, when we're in the Kinky Kelly and the Sexy Stud scene, pan up. You see Zach Knutson has his hand in his fucking marble bag, and he pulls it up and he spits, and we're in the blue light, and it goes straight through his fingers and shit. I want that in slow-mo, Kevin Smith. That was my contribution to cinema. That would be about the only place where you would find me, but I am starting to question whether that is the case or not either. If even I'll be remembered at that place at that point, because Shannon passed away, and I ain't saying, hey man, Mallrats. Like, yes, she was in a movie called Mallrats, but Shannon Doherty was in fucking Heathers. Like, Heathers is an American institution, at least it was when I was growing up and shit like that. But like, how do you not put a Heathers clip up there, man? Then Michelle Trachtenberg, just passed away. And, how do you not put a Harriet the Spy clip up there? I remember when Jim Jacks passed away. And this is a guy who brought us The Mummy and Dazed and Confused and Tombstone and like so many movies that people loved. He didn't get a producerial shout out. Like
Tony Todd did not get a shout
Tony Todd didn't get a fucking goddamn Candyman, for heaven's sake.
Goddamn Candyman.
Like, yeah, it's that's and I understand like human error and shit, but like, come on, man.
The In Memoriam is my most scrutinized segment of the fucking Oscars.
I think it's everybody's. Like,
because
everybody, because
it should be the easiest one to do. Because, like, listen, you've got a list, and I understand there has to be some arbitrary who makes the cut math, but you can figure that shit out. But most of the time in the Emmys and the Oscars and the Tonys and whatever it is, it's like, guys, all I want to do is see faces and read names. I don't care that you have fucking Lenny Kravitz singing a sad song. I don't want to see Lenny Kravitz's face. I don't want to see an orchestra. I don't want to see like artful shots of anything. I'm here to see faces and read names. Stop fucking this up. And at least this Oscars, they knew that part of it. Like, give me the fucking money shot all the time. But the names they leave off and the names they then include, which is like, here's some casting executive from 1923. Like, okay, I mean, I guess.
Toy Gallery pointed out in chat, Roberto Orci.
Yeah.
He also didn't get a shout out. And this guy who like did some Trek pictures, man, which did business.
Right. He made a Mission Impossible. He wrote some fucking.
Did he make a Mission Impossible as well?
He wrote Mission Impossible 3.
The one that JJ directed.
Yeah.
I enjoy that one. I mean, look, I generally like the Mission Impossible movies, But that one I really enjoyed. It was kind of like low tech.
It's low tech, but it's also it's the Rocky 3 of Mission Impossible movies, in that it's the one that cracked the code. Like, this is how we do this. We're gonna show you fucking Tom Cruise running flat out for minutes on screen, unbroken cuts. We're gonna give you a villain who's super fucking charismatic. We're gonna here's the team he's always gonna have.
God, remember that? Remember Philip Seymour Hoffman?
I'm
You got a wife, and girlfriend. I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna hurt her.
You hung me out of a plane, even.
and I'm gonna kill her right in front of you. Oh, he was so fucking good in that.
He's great. But yeah.
What's your name? You don't have any idea what's going on, do you? Oh, he was so fucking good in that movie. That makes me want to just go watch that fucking movie. Let's do a live watch along.
Let's do it.
Mission Impossible 3. Fuck everything else. Some people in chat are like, they don't want to talk about Daredevil. That's not true. I enjoyed Daredevil. Spoilers. So we're just actually having a good time enjoying the conversation about an old ass movie that people are like, hey, bring it up to the present, you old fucking
a new thing.
Yeah, man. Gene Hackman made it, didn't he?
Gene Hackman made it. Like, there's the ones that they have to crash in there, and then there's
someone in chat was like, might Michelle make it next year? Generally, that has not been the case. And if they forget people the year before, they don't make it in the next year. It don't work like that.
They do.
Not that I've seen empirically, my observation, I should say.
What they've started doing is they started tossing to the Oscars.org website for a longer list that will include the people that they didn't make for the broadcast, but there's never a make good the year after.
That's the best hope I'll ever have, dude, of making it to the in memoriam overflow on the Oscars website.
Kevin, you'll never die. You'll never get old.
Yeah, man, it's like the X-Files and shit. Remember the X-Files episode? One of my favorite, Clive Bruckman's final repose, Peter Boyle. And at one point, like, he could tell everybody how they're going to die and shit like that. And he's talking to Dana Scully, and he's like, I know how you're going to die. And she's like, I don't want to know. I have no interest in knowing that. And then before she leaves the hotel room, he's like, she goes, well, at one point he goes, I know how I'm going to die. Like, I'm lying on a bed and you're looking at me with tears in your eyes and you're so grateful. And she's like, there are misses and there are misses, like, meaning like that's never going to happen. But then before she leaves, she's like, okay, how do I die? And he goes, that's the thing. You don't. Awesome fucking moment. Really still captures my imagination, like, to this day. To Mulder, he says, he goes like, I know, he goes, I'm not going to tell you how you die, but I will say that autoerotic asphyxiation is a horrible way to go. And Mulder goes, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that to me? But could you imagine being told that, like, by somebody who can predict, and you've seen predict deaths accurately over the course of the hour-long program, that you're not going to die? Like, what happens to Dana Scully? Does she just get taken up in a spaceship and whatnot? Will Chris Carter ever tell that story? Aren't they doing new X-Files right now? Isn't it like Ryan Coogler doing it or something?
Yeah, like Ryan was announced as being the sort of EP showrunner of a new X-Files, but that was announced a couple of years ago, so I'm not entirely sure.
Anthony M in chat says he brings up that damn X-Files episode every other month. It's good. It's fucking good, man.
Because it is hard to undersell or oversell how impactful a thing you see when you're like 22 years old is. Like, I still have in my head the word cerulean from that episode of the X-Files called Pusher.
Yeah.
The guy was like, I think it's a kind of blue. It's a cerulean blue. And then whoever, like, the sniper starts opening fire. And I'm like, why is that still in my fucking head? Why is the word cerulean, which I've never heard before or since, still in my fucking head?
Some good writing, man.
It was the X-Files.
All right, man.
Should we talk?
We should.
Do
We should.
we want to go to Paradise, or do we want to go?
Go to Paradise first because we'll linger on Scott Kimbrough in chat said, Kevin, as a cinema owner, you should listen to Sean Baker's speech when you get a chance. I heard that he was like, hey man, movie theaters and small independent cinemas, and we are definitely one of those. Lovely. You know, anytime anybody shouts out somebody that's not like my agent or my mother, like just the idea of like movie theaters, and not like in that way of like movies need to be seen on a big screen, but he shouted out specifically, it sounded like independent movie theaters.
Yeah, and independent cinema. Like he's that's his fucking clarion call. It's like make movies.
Absolutely. And also, I heard that he's going to interview the kids from the Florida Project, which that captured my imagination. I was like, oh my God, like he probably hasn't seen them in like a decade and whatnot. And they're all grown up now. All right, man. Nothing else about the Oscars? I guess we said everything we need to talk about.
I think so. You know, there's not a ton of genre love at the Oscars. I mean, Dune won Best Special Effects, and Wicked won the two things it was up for. I mean, the Oscars opened with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo.
They sang
because the song's not nominated. So
what they sing? YMCA.
Ariana opened with Over the Rainbow, and then Cynthia Erivo did A House Is Not a Home, and then they both did Defying Gravity.
They made you work for it a little bit.
They made you work for it. You know, you don't lead with Daredevil, kids. You close with Daredevil.
I wonder what they think of Daredevil.
So
we'll find out. Oh,
so
look, the devil of hell's kitchen, kids, has popped in and is with us.
We're not gonna. This also flipped you guys around, so you won't be seeing me much anymore. So we're gonna talk about Daredevil later. Just want to make sure of that. Okay.
You might want to, we're going to talk about Paradise first. So where's your Paradise cosplay? Do you have your Juliana Nicholson outfit you could put on for us?
Let me go see if I can find it.
Yeah, do you have a bunch of shoe polish back there? You can get a little.
Before for what? Juliana Nicholson?
You're Sterling K. Brown. Will Wilkins.
Before we, did you see we do have a little bit of news. The Avengers art that leaked.
Ooh. I didn't see
so there's a bunch of concept art that leaked, which they misidentified as Avengers Doomsday, when clearly it was all Secret Wars art. And then it took them about a day to correct, which made no sense. But Disney hasn't come out and been like, that ain't real. And it showed a lot, including what looked like a version of Black Panther that wasn't
Chadwick.
Yeah. I think I heard that it was Sterling. Because remember he played
Jobu. Yes. Killmonger's father.
So maybe in Secret Wars. I don't know. Is anybody else let me see. Yeah, it's now the chat's blowing up with it. And that shit was real. I saw that. Yeah, Hulk in the Dark Ages. They're saying it could be an intentional leaked so we stop talking about Cap 4 underperforming, is what Can't Get No said in chat. Is it underperforming?
No. It's really hard to say that a movie that made $190 million in its opening weekend is underperforming.
Sick Boy in chat says, actually, they said the art was real, but from about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Oh God, this is embarrassing. Jacob Kim in chat says, I've been re-listening to old Fat Man Beyonds, and you were just talking about that X-Files episode on the episode I was listening to on my drive home. So weird.
Your watch, buy it, boys and girls.
Yes, so that artwork, which showed like a land of Hulks and many Hulks fighting each other and shit, and showed Doom in his throne, and more of a, it looked more of a Knights era type thing. But Nobody's saying that that's official. They're not saying it's official.
I mean, we were always going to see another version of Black Panther. Even in the mainline MCU, they did set up that T'Challa's son is named T'Challa. And given that it seems as if Black Panther 3 is going to take place at the very least, it seems to be a real-time kind of thing. So it's going to be 10 years since Black Panther 2 until we see that movie. That kid is going to be 16 or 17 years old, ready to take the mantle.
Jaxar in chat says, today is 7 years since my heart attack. The only reason I went to the hospital was because of your video from Glendale Hospital. Thank you for probably saving my life. You're welcome. Yeah, I thank Dr. Leidenheim. I just passed my 7-year anniversary of my heart attack. All right, kids, let's talk Paradise first.
Let's talk Paradise.
The
last 2 episodes went up since the last time, I think.
Paradise season 1, which I didn't realize was a season. I thought it was just a show, a maxi series, but it's season 1, so they're going to keep going. Ended about as perfectly as you could end a season of program. It was only 8 episodes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They told a fucking fantastic story. They unfolded that story so grippingly, where you were like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Expert acting, expert storytelling, 2 fucking insanely powerful leads. The second to last episode is one of the most impressive hours of television I've ever seen in my life.
It's so great. It's so great.
And that's not an understatement or an overstatement. Like, I promise you, you could skip the first 5-6 episodes, go right to that episode, and it would sell you on the show more than I could ever say anything, more than Mark could ever say anything. It's just insanely well-made storytelling that keeps you at the edge of your fucking seat. Like, never mind the score, the driving score that like ran throughout the spine of the episode. Never mind the heightened situation that without, I don't want to spoil it, so I don't want to tell you what the show's about. Never mind the fucking performances, but just how the stakes were so insanely high. And like, we're smart enough to be like, this is just a TV show. And yet they sucked you in. It is crazy, excellent hour of television. And I would even say, I thought they would, at the final episode, it'd be like, well, it's never going to touch that previous episode. But they got close. They were in the same neighborhood. It ended insanely strong. Whole show was fucking strong. I wish we could give details, but it spoils everything. You have to kind of go in clean, but it is worth the fucking ride. You're only talking about, between 7 and 8 hours of one long movie, which they ended so well that if they didn't have a season 2, wouldn't matter. Like, it's its own self-contained, perfect little story.
Yeah.
And when they rolls credits, you could have been like, that was satisfying. But their season 2 promises to be like, reinvent the show in a good way, in as much as the world is about to expand. I went into this thing going like, what a hack title. Like, what is this about? And there have been so many shows called Paradise. One of the best things I've watched in a long time. It was on Hulu. I watched on, I think.
Hulu. But yeah, it is. If your problem with current TV, prestige TV, is that like they're padding these episodes, they don't have enough story. There's not
this one
for me. No, they have all the story. Like, it is nothing but card turn after card turn after card turn. What is this? Plot, revelation. And to your point of like the stakes being massive and huge, like the thing that I appreciated is that, yes, there's a big, massive thing that the show's about. And then episode 7 is about one guy's very personal dilemma. And how does he solve that dilemma? Can he solve this dilemma? What can he do where he is to solve this problem that's facing him? And so you get the macro and the micro, and they're both desperately emotional. And fucking James Marsden, man, I've always kind of like, ever since Hairspray, I was like, hey, you know what? This guy might have something. but holy shit, like he's phenomenal. He was the surprise for me.
What's more surprising? That second to last episode of Paradise or John Cena's heel turn?
I will say the second last episode of Paradise because I am not familiar at all with the WWE and where John Cena may or may not have been, or what he might or might not have done.
He done wrong is what he done.
He went bad. Yes, there's somebody in chat. Let me see if I can remember who it was. Who did correct me that Cynthia Erivo sang "Home" from The Wiz and not "A House Is Not a Home."
Oh, she sang "Home" from The Wiz. I love that song. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so it was a nice. I remember it being a Wiz song, but I couldn't remember the name.
Of home.
But it was like they were doing Wizard of Oz songs, so it's Over the Rainbow, Home, and then
so it was Wizard of Oz, Wiz, and then Wicked.
Yeah,
that's kind of sweet. The triptych.
Granted, they then later did Queen Latifah sang "Moving Ease On Down the Road," like an hour deeper into the show, which seemed superfluous at best, but okay.
That's the Cena, man. You can't see him coming.
I know. Tell me where my hands can see.
How do you watch Peacemaker now? You know what I'm saying? And be like, he can't. He's pretending to be a hero.
Yeah. So yes, Paradise. If you haven't watched, yeah.
Mark's like, I got nothing on this heel turn bit. Let's go back to the show. I actually know.
I mean, good luck, wrestling. Thoughts and prayers.
If you're not seeing Paradise, and I saw Laura D in chat say, I still don't know what it's about. Can't really tell you without spoiling it.
Yeah, like we can say Sterling K. Brown plays a secret service agent. James Marsden plays the president of the United States.
Julianne Nicholson, I guess, chief of staff.
She plays, sort of a somewhat ambiguous person of power in both the administration and in the world and in whatever. And things fall down. Things crumble. There are catastrophes and disasters. There are plots and conspiracies. It is both science fiction and political fiction and family dynamics, but it is also an incredibly smart show that moves at a fucking hellish pace. And there's no weak link in it, from the writing to the directing to the performances. All of it's great. All of it's great.
Dowd Parisha says, I disagree. You could get the basic plot from the trailer, but that would still be an undersell to how damn good it was. Probably. I didn't watch the trailer. I kind of went in cold, and I was so delighted.
Indeed.
Warrior Fella chat in chat says 2025 Oscars fell short of 20 million viewers again. I'm one of many who didn't watch. The nominations didn't look 2025 Amelia Perez record noms was a damn publicity stunt. Their ratings are down. They're never going to get rid of that show.
No. I mean,
always some network that'll play it.
19 million viewers on television these days is a win.
Huge. Yeah, that's massive. I mean, especially because a lot of people like watch on social media and catch up there.
So,
all right, man. Josh Mundahl in chat was like, I must have seen Jon Stewart on The Daily Show talking about John Cena. I did see that, but I only brought it up because somebody in the chat, people in the chat were like, you got to talk about Cena's heel turn. So we talked about
one of us talked about Cena's heel turn.
I tried to get Mark to do it. Mark wasn't having it because Mark believes Cena is a hero.
I believe the last time I watched wrestling was like, Jimmy Superfly Snuka versus the Hulk Hogan versus Randy Macho Man Savage. So it's been a while.
Victor Venn Diagram says, I got 3 episodes into Paradise. I liked it, but I need something lighter in my media consumption at the moment. It's true, kids. It's not a show that's designed to make you feel good.
And it's also like, so a president of the United States who's being manipulated by a shadowy corporate titan. Yeah, okay. I see.
If you're looking for a little escapist television, maybe Paradise. If you want to escape the headlines, kids, you got a better chance of doing it in Paradise than you do in Daredevil. I'll tell you that much. Let's talk Daredevil. I spent the first 2 episodes of Daredevil like constantly looking over at my wife to be like, they didn't know that this was shot before all that. Like, because it is rather uncanny, no? Like,
well, I mean,
and we've seen comics where, like, you know, Lex Luthor became the fucking president in the DC universe and stuff. And I don't remember. Did Kingpin become mayor of New York in the comics at one point?
Yeah, I believe him running for office and even winning, I think, was from the books.
So, you know, it's not like, hey man, like I kept saying, I was like, I'm telling you, like this is not an editorial. It's just the timing of it feels that way, but this ain't an editorial. They do this in the comics. Like, I wasn't sure if they'd done Kingpin as mayor. But
they do, but it's also like they have the benefit of history is currently repeating itself. And so the 2020, you know, the whatever 2018 to 2022 was like, oh yeah, we saw that already. Oh, we're doing it again. Oh, hey, look, thankfully, we're still current.
Zaji Baron in chat says Kingpin ran for DA in season 3.
Kingpin was
that happened
a year or 2 ago in the comics. Says can't get no.
Kingpin lost weight, says Alan Padini. Yeah, that much was fucking obvious.
Well, he was running for office, so you know.
And they wrote it right in to the whole thing too.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the hell out of Daredevil. Did it hit the heights of season 1 from Netflix? No, but it doesn't have the element of surprise on its side like they did, to be fair. Like, there's very few things, very few sequences on TV will ever match that fucking seamless hallway fight from the first season of Daredevil on Netflix. You know, you're talking about a show that, like, I saw some review earlier today where they're like, you know, it owed a lot to Chris Nolan's Dark Knight. I never got that impression when I watched season 1 of Daredevil. I'm not obtuse enough to be like, you know, oh, they didn't go for realism like Chris Nolan did in Batman Begins or The Dark Knight and stuff, but that Netflix show really honored the roots of that character, and they did a really nice job too of, like, he wasn't Daredevil in the first frame. They built up to the costume, they built up to the name, like gave a real true secret origin. And that was thrilling for those of us who've loved that character, who only ever had the one incarnation in cinema, you know, from our good friend Mr. Affleck, featuring a guy playing, you know, guy in the morgue named Jack Kirby. Oh, he looked, you could see in his eyes, he had a bright future as an actor. Tragically cut short, lost all his lines in future movies, started playing a character called Silent Bob, never broke out. So seeing Charlie Cox, you know, bring Matt Murdock to life over the course of many episodes. You know, Ben got to do it in a movie, like, you know, where it's like, hey man, you got 2 hours, go. There's only so much fucking backstory and nuance and character building you could do in that amount of time while you're still moving forward and telling your story, which was a very packed story, a lot of villains and Elektra in it as well. With Daredevil season 1 on Netflix, they got to luxuriously unfold the story of the very Catholic Matt Murdock, whose father, you know, was killed by mobsters, whose sight was taken by a radioactive isotope, heightened all of his other senses. The fighting alone, was one of the most sold aspects of that show, the Netflix, the realism. So I guess what we had heard, somebody pointed out in chat, they started shooting this back in 2022. We know from reports that they started shooting a version of Daredevil that did not have Foggy or Karen or much of what we knew from the previous incarnation. There were rumors that he wasn't going to be in the costume for quite some time, if at all. It was more going to be a legal show or something. Whatever it was, Kevin Feige got in there and said no and pulled the plug. And even though money had been spent, they went back and they retooled the show. Those people who were on the previous incarnation are still credited in this incarnation. And so, I loved both episodes. Not like loved them as much as I loved Avengers Endgame, but I was happy to see Dee Dee back. I was happy that they let him be violent as fuck, especially for a Disney Plus show. But the first episode, he opens with a fucking killer sequence.
Yes.
It's not quite the hallway fight sequence, which was very nearly seamless from season 1 many, many moons ago. But they do a kind of, back and forth through the building, let the action come in and out of the frame, it's a stylistic choice. And then take the fight all the way up the building. So the sequence that they start the show off with a bang, fantastic. One of the best Marvel fight sequences. Felt like a fucking comic book, especially with them moving in and out, like going like outside with what was happening on the ground, then coming back, and then just letting Daredevil and, spoilers, Bullseye just beat the shit out of each other in front of the camera. Bullseye being the most Bullseye ever in anything, grabbing whatever was within reach and turning it into a weapon, hurling knife after knife into Daredevil as they beat the shit out of each other, was a dizzying and powerful and gripping fucking, like, you have my attention way to open a show that hasn't been around in what, 6 years, 7 years is the last time they did Defenders. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
They brought back our favorites, and somebody don't make it out of that scene, and it's a pretty fucking powerful death, very meaningful. The whole sequence feels like maybe it's 10 minutes or something like that, maybe more, but absolutely wonderful. Really felt like that came later. That felt like we got to get him in the suit in the first fucking scene.
Yeah, because he's not in the suit. Spoilers. Definitely not in episode 2. And from what I gather online, still not for a while.
So maybe they didn't course correct as much as we were, or as we all thought. It's not like we were led to believe by anybody, but maybe there's a reason that the people who were involved in the first incarnation's names are still all over, because it looks like it is going to be a lawyer show for a while. And I'm not complaining. I think, I like what they're doing. I like the story that they're telling. And I like more Daredevil rather than no Daredevil. And I like the fact that there's a commitment to the Netflix incarnation. When Marvel TV began, at first there was a very like, we're doing our own thing. And very slowly they were like, you know what? There's room for the Netflix characters in here. And we got Charlie Cox back, and we got Vincent D'Onofrio back, and a couple fucking things. So all of this is great. And all of this makes me happy. Nothing about the show made me sad or fucking unhappy. I have no complaints, but it does feel a little disjointed. It feels like there are two different stories being told.
Yeah, I mean it definitely
or no, and I don't mean, of course there's two different stories being told. There's stories all over the place, but it feels like, at least in these first two episodes, that the movie version would be like, well, they tested it and that didn't work, so they hacked that out and put that over. It felt like there was a bit of surgery in particularly the first episode. But again, not a complaint and not like a criticism by any stretch of the imagination, because you open an episode like that, fucking, you got room as far as I'm concerned, like space. And where they took the story in a 1 year later fashion was interesting. I'm there for the ride.
DILF.
Yeah.
It did feel very, not cobbled together, but felt like surgery. Hey, look, Daredevil showed up.
Somebody associated with the production, I read in a Variety or somewhere that everything that we got to see in the first 12 minutes of that episode happened off camera originally. So yeah, it feels disjointed because they put all of that fan service and right there in stuff that they shot new to tack on
for that opening sequence.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense. If what you're saying is they began just by saying all that shit, then I'm glad as fuck that they actually shot it, because it's a pretty spellbinding sequence. I went back and watched it twice. As soon as it was done, I was like, I let my breath out, and then I went back and watched it again.
Yeah.
I love violence in movies.
I love it bloody.
It makes me like, I don't know if it's uncomfortable or not, but I fucking like laugh when like something happens. It was like, oh, and the spoilers, and fucking tossing the dude off the building, and in the wide, like in the close, and then cutting to the wide and watching it happen in real time got the biggest laugh out of me, and not out of ridicule, but I was just like, oh fuck. That's the kind of reaction, man. Like there's so many, like when I was watching Paradise at one point, spoilers, Sterling has, a character like at gunpoint. And I was sitting there watching, and I was like, just like break her jaw or something. Like, you don't have to kill her, but like she got to pay for what she did. And then somebody else comes in and does something even worse. And I was like, let more of that. That'll work as well.
People have to stop telling this lady they're going to do stuff and just do stuff.
Truth. Once again, Charlie Cox is wonderful. Vincent D'Onofrio, wonderful as well. They get to have their heat moment, which we've all seen in the trailer and stuff like that. It's a good scene, but it's like I was waiting for it to, like, it's honestly probably used more effectively in the trailer than it is in the show, because it makes you feel like, oh shit, like these two are gonna get into it. But yeah, I mean, of course they will get into it over the course of the show, but
yeah, it is so early in the narrative that there's actually no stakes to that scene. It's just
is that what I'm searching for? Why? It did, because he's just sitting there going, if you do anything bad, I'm going to be there. And he's just like, well, if you do anything bad, I'm going to be there. It's like
high fives, and then they just walk out.
yeah. But it's fine. I'll sit there and watch those two fucking talk to each other. Particularly, I'm such a fucking Marvel zombie that like all it takes is Kingpin going like, men with skulls on their shirts and spiders through the. I'm like, oh, one universe 616 616. Like that made me very happy. But little fan service like that, I'm the idiot moron that they chum that out to, and I'm like, everything they do is good because it makes me feel good.
Yeah, I mean, even the scene that's in Heat, which ultimately is the same scene. Like it all it's there is fireworks, because these two characters felt the same way about each other walking in, and they kind of feel the same way about each other walking out. And so it's just, I'm going to threaten you, you're going to threaten me, but it's cool that we also know each other and share a little bit of familiarity, but it doesn't alter their trajectories in any way. they're both going to do exactly what they were going to do. So it's just a little like, isn't this cool to watch them do that? And it is. Like great actors performing that shit. Like, yeah, you know what? It's a fun scene.
It's also the Disney version, Disney Plus version, I should say, of Daredevil. It gets to be, clearly they spend more money than they did at Netflix. And that's saying something, because those Netflix shows were not cheap. But like, you get, comic book accurate depictions of Daredevil billy clubbing his way across the rooftops of the city, scaling and leaping fire escapes and whatnot, running, not quite Tom Cruise fast, but running across rooftops and doing flips. There's more of that in this incarnation of Daredevil than there was in the Netflix incarnation. Just like if you ever saw, when Daredevil popped up in She-Hulk,
right,
it was a lot more physically comics accurate Daredevil with all the jumping around and shit like that than he was ever in the other incarnation. And I hope that doesn't turn people off. Like, I hope, people aren't like, oh, now it's fucking fantasy. Because it's like, this character defines fantasy, kids. Like,
yeah,
he's a blind man that leaps off fucking buildings and can read newspaper just by running his hand over it. And it's not Braille. It's just because the ink is raised microscopically off. Like, this is the definition of fantasy. But, Matt Murdock has always been, thanks to Frank Miller, and then, others who came after Frank Miller, and Nocenti's run on Daredevil with Typhoid Mary. He's Catholic, but he's sexually charged. Matt Murdock fucks.
Oh, yeah. So much.
I'm shocked he hasn't fucked in these 2 episodes yet, but you could tell or maybe he has. They just they show her going into her apartment, but maybe he's playing it coy. But that's one of my favorite aspects of that character is, most of the Marvel universe got like Mr. Fantastic is married and stuff like that, but like, here's Matt Murdock, who's just like, at one point was like, I gotta have it so much that I will fight. I will sleep with my arch nemesis, Typhoid Mary. We will fucking fight across New York City.
He is his very own Madonna whore complex.
He's like every good Catholic boy, man. He's cleaved in twain.
He's a whore.
Wants to do what he was raised to do, but he loves to nut. He just loves it. Cast wise, of course, it's nice to see everybody coming back. For some stays short, some stays very short.
Indeed.
But nominally, this seems to have very little in common with Frank Miller's classic Born Again, as is common practice in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and TV, Marvel television. The name doesn't necessarily mean that's the exact story that you're getting.
And also, wasn't season 3 of the Netflix show
based on
Born Again?
A little bit, yeah. And they also had a bit of Guardian Devil tossed in there as well in season 2.
But I think, that was probably the conceptual thought behind starting this season without having to see Daredevil cross the line and do the bad thing and then give up the suit, because that's already what they had done in season 3. Until somebody said, yeah, but we can't count on people having watched that, and they're going to need some Daredevil like pretty fucking quickly. So we got to give him Daredevil. So that was part of what seemed to have been, as you point out, the course correction between Incarnation 1, V1, and V2. Is like, we got to thread some of this story through, because I remember hearing that the first Incarnation was very much a legal procedural. It was very much case of the week, with Matt Murdock defending people and how that can change and twist and whatever. And so they've massaged that. So now it seems like they're just doing the Victor Ayala White Tiger case seems to be the through line. But the remnants, the vestigial tale of we're not putting him in a suit for a good long while kind of remains.
In chat, Doubt Barisha says, rumors are coming out the Defenders will be used for a Disney Plus thing. we might get to see Rosario as the night nurse again. She was missed.
Yeah.
Remember, she was the common thread through all those shows. And now she's like, I'm Ahsoka. She's like, I only do big projects now.
Yeah. Like Deepest, Darkest.
There you go. I enjoyed Daredevil. I think they're doing a good job, really good job. You know, again, high bar with that first Netflix season. We're only 2 episodes in, so they could possibly get there. But they, as for my money, Disney Plus doing them justice. Anybody who was like, they'll never be able to do Daredevil like they did on Netflix, getting close. I mean, look, in terms of the violence, they ain't holding back. That's one thing. Did you see that one scene in the mayor's office where at one point Fisk had blood on his knuckles?
Yeah.
Did they ever explain why?
Nope.
That felt like something got moved around. And he also had like what looked like a scar on his face.
Well, he has a scar from Echo.
So is that the whole time?
He gets shot in the face. Echo shoots him in the face.
Yeah. They reference it in the show. He's like, I tried to be a mentor.
Yes.
Shot me in the face. They laugh about it. It's charming.
Yeah, I got a bullet for my troubles.
I forgot about Echo for a red hot second. I thought he was talking about Hawkeye. I was like, she shot him in the face.
In the face.
I wore a Hawaiian shirt at one point.
I tried some sartorial flair.
It was comics accurate,
but silly nonetheless.
Yeah, man. Daredevil. Look, I knew this in the back of my mind, in the back of my head and heart, but I forgot until I read an article recently. It's fucking 19 episodes. This thing.
It's supposed to be 2 seasons. I'm not
They're
sure.
breaking it up into 2 seasons. I think we get 9 in this season and like fucking 7 or 8 in the next one. Like this fucking thing's long, man. Who knew?
They committed to the bit.
Didn't Bendis do the White Tiger storyline?
I think so. It sounds right.
Where somebody gets like picked up by the cops for being a vigilante, but not for being a vigilante, for like something gone wrong. I thought that was cool to layer that in there.
Yeah.
It looks like Muse is coming as well. Not Jason Mewes, although that'd be amazing. But the character of Muse.
Yeah. And we're gonna get fucking Frank Castle again. We know that's coming. And it's, I feel very much like, if I'm going to see the Rolling Stones, I kind of want them to play the hits. And so, like, yeah, if you get me this cast back kind of doing this kind of thing, like, there's some pleasure in it for sure. Is it as heady as the Rolling Stones' first couple of albums? Like, no. Because those, as you said, the surprise was such that you're just blown away by the fact that, holy shit, are they pulling this off? Are they doing this for real? We know they can do it. So now we're kind of just watching good actors do a version of a thing we've seen before. And there's pleasure there, and I'm enjoying it. I hope it deepens a little bit, but I'm cool.
What is this? Trailblazer 710 says, did you guys notice the blood on the ground he left at the end of next episode 2 of the end of next episode 2? I think they're going to do that run where he's going to have to defend himself. I don't know what that means.
Second episode near the end when he's getting into it with the cops.
When who's getting into it?
Murdoch.
It's fucking, give me a name.
Yeah, Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock.
Him, I know.
Sorry.
So wait, he's getting into it with who?
The cops that have come to try and take care of the witness guy that was saved on the platform. And first thing, when they smack Matt before he gives in to impulses, before he tells them, anyway, he gets smacked and he kind of bends over and 2 drops of blood hit the ground.
Yeah.
So now his blood is at a crime scene, is what they're saying. So is he going to have to defend himself because his DNA was present with 2 cops who...
I mean, spoilers, but doesn't he? I thought I saw in a trailer, doesn't he talk to Frank Castle at one point?
Yeah, and we know the Punisher's coming.
But spoilers. looked like they're in jail in that scene, no?
I haven't. It did look like they were somewhere,
So
like
could
a
be that mask.
penitentiary.
I mean, with fucking 19 episodes, sounds like Daredevil could not only possibly
But
go to jail,
but that they're
but
splitting
go
that
to
up.
space and still come back in time to fucking solve the crime.
I think their revised plan is that's what they're splitting up into seasons.
Mm.
So basically, it'll be like 9 this time and 8 or 9 the next.
And it's him going to jail is probably the break, I suppose.
You think so? No,
I mean,
because we've been seeing clips of him with Punisher. There's no way they're going to make us wait till season 2 to give us a little Frank Castle.
Who knows?
They
They're
put
gonna
both of them in jail at the same time, Daredevil and fucking Punisher.
I mean, if they got to break out together, like I'd watch that fucking Defiant.
I know, I'm here for it. Just give them their suits, though, man.
Yeah,
Like, don't make them do it as themselves and shit like that. Like,
there's gonna be fucking guys. So Escape from Alcatraz. We're just wearing the blues.
that's not what would happen in the comics. In the comics, you know, they'd be in their suits breaking out. They'd be in their cells in their suits in the comics. That's what I love about comics, man. That's why I like. I'm gonna say this, and I'm sure somebody in chat's gonna be like, he says this every week, but like, don't make it too realistic. Like, let them wear their costumes in jail. If that's kooky, fine. This shit should be kooky. On some level.
You need the scene of the two guards standing outside Frank Castle's cell with him with the fucking uniform on, being like, "What, you gonna take it off of him? Like, I wasn't gonna fucking touch him. Like, hey, he's gonna wear the skull in maximum lockdown."
Speaking of fucking, like, are you gonna take it off him? I ain't gonna take it off him. You watching Reacher?
I haven't seen the most recent episode yet.
I just watched the one they dropped last night before we did the show. It's fantastic. Alan Richardson continues to just fucking be perfectly cast. That all being said, you have seen the first few episodes of the season.
Yes.
Do you see that one gigantic guy that clearly he's on a collision course to fight?
He's Fritos and Richard Sherman Lay.
It's fucking crazy. Like that is a gigantic, tall human being. Because Reacher's fucking tall. And this guy's got Reacher by like at least a head and a half, maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy who should play Bane in real life and shit like that.
Well, I mean, if Richardson is clearly angling to be the brave and the bold Batman, then like,
my wife asked me that today. She's like, "Is he really going to be Batman?" I was like, "No, that's my wish." But they haven't announced that yet. But that's who it should be. Should really be him.
Yeah.
I know James Gunn doesn't watch the show, but if somebody who watches this show knows James Gunn, just tell him like Reacher is Batman.
For the amount of times that we've gone balls deep on Guardians of the Galaxy, like here's a dude who maybe ought to watch the show. Just once.
All right. Don't care. I said it in chat. Says Alan is Batman or we riot. That's how I feel.
I mean, let's riot for basic human rights, and then Richardson is Batman.
Mm.
I'm here for that as a 2-part platform.
The guy is fucking tall, man. It's just crazy. Like, because I keep looking at, like, I'm like, maybe they're putting him on an Apple box, but like he's in wide shots next to Alan, and he's still bigger than him. Like, he's not only taller than him, but he's like fucking more muscly than him.
It's the like,
I'm just gonna tell you this week, there's a moment.
Okay.
Between them where it's just like, oh, it's a good show, man. It's a really satisfying show.
I did like that moment where they were in the gym kind of working out and they went to test each other's strength. All right, let's do the whatever, the Bulgarian arm wrestling.
Only way that fucking works, because I believe the super tall guy has an accent, so like I guess he's from another country. Maybe that's the only reason that fucking gambit works. Who the fuck falls for that? Like, just like, you know,
shit. But I did like that when like they were squaring off to fight, Reacher had already picked up a plate of weights.
Yes.
Just like
He's ready to go for it.
you broke that jaw.
Jab Cup in chat said Richson said you wouldn't even have to pay me to be Batman. Come on, James. That's how you start the fucking, the new DC universe. You don't even have to spend that money on a Batman. That means you can put all your money into the villain.
True. And spend, as we've said a number of times, too much money on a Batman movie.
You get to cast any Batman villain against Alan Richardson Batman. Who's your bad guy?
Does it have to be one we haven't seen before?
Nope.
No, we can go straight up. It's a clean slate.
You want to go Joker? Go ahead.
I don't want to go Joker. I think I want Scarecrow for real.
Again?
You just said I had an open playing field.
I was gonna say Mr. Freeze, so I'm just as bad.
But we only get like little bits of Scarecrow. Like in the Nolan movies, he's like a bit player, kind of.
Yeah. I've shown you my mask.
Does this
guy who played the Scarecrow is good, man? One day he might win an award.
If he only had a name that people could pronounce, he'd have a career.
The Rob Brown channel in chat says King Tut as the villain.
Yes, please.
Sonny Lopez in chat says Batman needs to be smaller than Superman. I mean, in theory.
But Superman does not have to work out at all.
True.
Like, he could be a great big old fat person and still lift fucking Volkswagens. So what's the incentive for him to be cut and huge? There isn't one. Batman, that motherfucker needs to be able to lift Buicks in order to fight the way he fights.
Can't get no in chat says Man Bat. Man Bat, like I would like to see Man Bat in a movie, but not as the main villain, right? Like it's not really, they like to do like Gotham is fucked. You ain't fucked if Man Bat's flying around. And, yeah, you're like, it's like a drone sighting. You're like, anyone else see that? What's that all about? You know what I'm saying? You need somebody who's like, I'll burn Gotham to the ground. You need a motherfucker with penguins with missiles strapped to their back. That's the heart of Batman. Like Gotham needs to be fucking threatened in a ridiculous measure that only a super billionaire, a good one,
indeed,
with a lot of tech, cool tech, and a lot of fucking issues about watching his parents die in a fucking dirty alley. Mad Hatter says Jenny Aguilar Mickelson. I'd be that. I'd watch that. Brian Wayne said Alan Cumming as Gentleman Ghost. And now there's something I need to see. Joker Burns says do another Ra's al Ghul. I mean, sure, but we've seen it. I was shocked we got it once.
I know.
It's crazy that fucking he was like, let's do the demon. I'm like, whoa. The demon. Do Etrigan, man. Where Batman's got to team up. Fucking Etrigan. Alan Richardson. Who plays your Etrigan?
Jason Isaac.
Not bad. Not a bad pick. I was going to go with Hugh Grant.
Also good.
Because he could be self-effacing and make little jokes and shit. All right. Are we got our reviews out of the way?
I think we got our reviews out of the way, my friend.
Let's go to Q&A, man. Hey, get in here, DILF Man.
Hello.
Oh, you took off the outfit, I see.
I got to give it up to cosplayers. 24 hours ago, that helmet didn't exist, and then I wasn't happy with the color. Long story short, Fumes near eyes, not a good mixture. So that needs to sit somewhere and cure for a little bit longer.
That's what she said.
Mark in chat says, I don't know, just give me an Outsiders movie. They did. Had fucking Francis Ford Coppola did it.
Stay golden, Pony Boy.
Yeah, remember all that shit? He's talking about Batman and the Outsiders. I mean, I'll take it. I think eventually we will get it because we'll get everything. They'll, sooner or later they're going to give you every fucking comic book storyline and character you ever want to see. But Outsiders is not one that I'm like lining up for. Court of Owls, there's some talk of.
Yeah, Tommy Elliott, Hush. I mean, they're dropping Hush too. I think.
Yeah, a lot of people love fucking Hush, man.
It's okay.
All right.
Harsh language.
Evan Fowler says Paul Walter Hauser would be an awesome ventriloquist. Co-signed.
Sold.
But I think he's probably too busy being Mole Man for Marvel. But yes, he's been cast. He's in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
How could he?
Who
is what's his fuck playing? Malkovich.
I don't know. I've heard theories from the internet. Again, it's internet theories. Take it for what it's worth. That he's playing Franklin Richards
in the future.
Yeah.
Trying to do all their powers. That was me stretching. I was me invisible. You can't.
The Moomin Shots version.
Did you see how I flame on? All right. Let's dive into some questions, man.
Fair enough. Harsh Language Podcast wants to thank you in advance for answering their question on who you'd want to see cast as the DCU's new Batman. Pretty much got that one taken care of.
We did.
Easy.
So, good on. I mean, so technically, if you just wanted to do two and get out here, we could do that too. I'm just saying, your discretion.
It was a hard piece.
Alan Padini asks, if you both were to remake The Greatest American Hero, who would you cast for the three lead characters? But I'm wondering who's character three, because you got Ralph.
You got the Ralph. You got the girl, and you got his boss. Remember Robert Cole?
Okay.
It was Pam Dauber.
He worked for not Pam Dauber. It was Connie Selica, if I remember.
Correct.
But what was her character's name? And she was that his girlfriend, or she was not a reporter, right?
No, that was his girlfriend, and she did become his wife, I believe.
They did a remake TV show with a girl as the Greatest American Hero, but it didn't go beyond the pilot, from what I understand.
I have seen the pilot on the internet.
You saw it? They put it out there?
It's out there, man.
How was it?
It was a pilot.
And let's be honest, like, most memorable part of that show, other than the concept, and at a time when, like, there was no superhero, nothing going on, those of us who were starving found that to be a meal. But the song is the banger.
Yes, which I believe
fucking plays.
I feel like somewhere in this show's history we've been copyright tagged
for singing it.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken.
Have we been copyrighted tagged for me talking about that X-Files scene?
No, not yet. Although,
so I'll do it 100 more times. Each time forgetting that I did it.
According to IMDb, Hannah Simone was the lead of The Greatest American Hero,
the reboot
from 2018,
and she was on The New Girl or something. One of those.
Yes, and other stuff. I think, but I think The New Girl was the big deal.
Pam Davidson was the character's name in The Greatest American Hero. She was his attorney, then girlfriend, then wife, Pam Davidson. We can't sing it, but I will say, believe it or not. I never thought I could feel so free. E.
Flying away on a wing and a prayer.
David Carrasco asks, what happened to the guy who owns a Star Wars bar? Somebody came in and cut his arm off with a lightsaber. He was like, we don't serve your kind in here. And then he was like, I don't like you either. And they cut his fucking arm off. That's how rough shit gets at the Scum and Villainy Cantina. He had a baby all by himself. It's a miracle.
Virgin birth.
One man, one child. Him and his wife, let's be honest, Jenny did all the hard work. JC, he was probably shooting it.
Can we take that again?
Yeah. Can just one more time. Can we put the baby back in? JC is off being a dad. Even though Will Wilkins is also a dad, he's got one of them grown-up kids. You don't have to, like JC's kid, if he leaves that kid alone to come do the show, the kid can't do shit.
No.
He's like
literally still wet behind the ears.
Doing that shit, right? Mm. Will's got kids that they're like, hello, father. You can have a conversation.
Here's an iPad. Disappear for a while.
Exactly.
But the original question, who would you recast if you were doing a remake of The Greatest American Hero? Who's your modern day cast?
Who do you think, Kev?
It's TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or streaming. So you can get anybody.
Get anybody.
Making it what they're paying. Well, now's my best chance to get my hooks into Chalamet. He just lost the Oscar and shit. If we come at him with a cool Netflix 20 to play Ralph, put on the suit, be like, you can do it as Dylan. Go ahead. I don't care.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, I'm working on it. So Chalamet means people are going to tune in because people watch that Dune thing.
They quite like that.
That's how I know. Pam Davison, whose name we all remembered, would be Academy Award winner Zoe Saldana.
Oh, nice.
Just because I like her and stuff. So if this is my version, but it ain't Chalamet. Let me cast some. You know who it is? Fuck everybody. Justin Long.
You
Justin Long is my Ralph, man. He's comedically wonderful and shit like that, and got enough. He's lived a life enough to bring gravitas to it. What can Chalamet bring to it?
All right.
We've seen Chalamet do the hero thing. Time for Justin Long to step up. Justin Long, Zoe Saldana, and who's my
You're Bill Maxwell.
Bader is my Robert Culp.
Bill Hader?
No, Diedrich Bader.
Diedrich Bader. All right.
Bill Hader ain't doing this show. He writes and directs his own shit now.
Okay.
There's my pick. What about you?
I think I go as Ralph Hinckley, replacing William Catt, Charlie Day.
Nice. Good pull. Very good pull.
I like Charlie Day. I think for Bill and Maxwell. Wait, what?
Spaceship. Was that what he said in the Lego movie? Spaceship.
Courtney B. Vance as Robert Culp.
Nice.
Basically, like, can I get Andre Brower? No, he's passed it.
Crazy Ivan.
Pavarotti was a tenor. Paganini is a composer. I can bag him for you.
Jonesy sees this whole thing as his own personal boombox. I don't know if that line plays today.
Less so. As Pam Davidson,
Josh Mundall in chat is screaming in caps. Jack Quaid as Ralph. Guys, come on. Excellent call.
You could probably get that show sold.
Excellent call. And also just like I could see that instantly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say like he's the modern day William Cat, but like he could totally rock that role.
Kristen Bell, I go for as Pam.
Oh, nice.
As Pam Davidson.
Let it go. Very, very nice.
We got it. Somebody give us money. Let's go make a show.
Yeah, come on. We got good ideas. All right, DILF Man. DILF us up.
From the Gloose, question for Kevin Mark: which DC or Marvel character would you like to team up with Snoopy from the Peanuts gang?
Wait, again?
Which DC or Marvel character would you like to team up with Snoopy? They were explicit to point out from the Peanuts gang, in case you were unclear on what Snoopy it was.
As opposed to all the other Snoopies. Which Marvel character?
Or DC.
Marvel or DC character?
Yeah.
Animal Man.
Yeah.
Because then we'll finally know what Snoopy's saying. We could see his thoughts, though.
That's true.
So maybe Professor X. So you could be like, Snoopy, I'm reading you with Cerebro.
What is a Red Baron?
Snoopy with Ace the Bat Hound.
Crypto.
Snoopy with Crypto. I mean, look, I'll just put it out there. I know it's self-serving, but Snoopy meets Jay and Silent Bob would be
lucrative.
for I don't know for who, but crossover nobody asked for. Snoopy with this. Yeah. That's what I got.
This is your guy. Yeah, I was gonna go Rocket.
Snoopy with Zatanna, because then you could give him a voice, so he could be like. That's how he talked on the Peanut.
I was gonna go Rocket.
Remember Worlds of Wonder built Teddy Ruxpin?
Oh God!
And they did a talking Snoopy as well, and they gave Snoopy a voice, and that was very disturbing to me.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, Laura, who's in our chat, wonderful artist, who recently made Lucky and Birdie these awesome raincoats, because I call the two German shepherds like the German consulate. So I'm like, I have an escort from the German consulate, and she made two rain ponchos for them that say like the German consulate on them. Shit, it's very adorable. In any event, she asked me recently. She was like, "Oh my God, you love Bullwinkle. Has anybody done a Moose Jaws Bullwinkle like jam, crossover piece or whatever?" And I wrote back to her to be like I don't like bastardizations of Rocky and Bullwinkle. I don't like to see them in modern clothes. I don't like to see them in movies. I don't want to see them like they need to look like Rocky and Bullwinkle. And it was such a serious response to a lighthearted artist question, but I was like, you've triggered one of my like fundamental complaints. When I spent a lot of time and money, Mark, hunting for Bullwinkle stuff online.
I've heard there was an intervention.
It ain't working. My happy place. I'm telling you, like every free second I have, I go to eBay and I go to Facebook Marketplace and I fucking like newly listed, see if anything's come up. And it's seriously diminishing returns because they ain't making anything new, Rocky and Bullwinkle. So the only thing I go after old stuff, but I'll be honest with you, I got a lot of it now. So it's going to be tough, right? Like it's feast or famine, man. Like when you find one thing, you're like, a golf towel. I don't even play golf, but click. So yeah, I do. Like I wake up in the morning, I come down here before I do anything else. I'm like, ooh, signed by June 4, bid, So Laura was like, hey man, what about a Moose Jaws piece? And I was like, no. I was like, I would sooner eat Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
I appreciate a purist.
Yeah, it is kind of that is, I guess it is kind of, I want it pure. I need them to look like they did when they first came around.
It's been a while since I've been to your place, but I do look forward to eventually returning and stumbling into the museum to Rocky and Bullwinkle that had not been there before.
You can lose hours staring at shit. I was looking at it today. It's so well curated. I was like, I should sell tickets. But you know how many people care about Bullwinkle? Not many. That's why I'm winning all these fucking auctions, Mark. There's not a single person bidding against me.
Yeah, look what I got for like $6.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Got this awesome fucking piece behind me from a Cheerios commercial back in the day, Bullwinkle as a football player. So there's the actual painted cell, and then over there's the pencil sketch.
Killing me, man.
Loving it. All right, man. In chat, I'm seeing Kabuki Kid says Snoopy and Phony Bone. That's pretty funny. Jab Cup says Snoopy and Groot. No one understands either of them. I like it.
Maybe
Horrible.
Maybe we can let Mark finish his thought.
Yeah,
No, correct. Chat has already hit like 4 of my thoughts, so it's they're doing a great job.
But Mark,
C Dad says Snoopy and Hong Kong Phooey. Excellent.
But Mark, the podcast people can't hear the chat, but they love your voice.
Are you directing?
That is very true.
Trying to direct Marc Bernardin?
Enunciate to the back row, please. No, my first call was Snoopy and Rocket Raccoon. And Snoopy and Groot is also pretty cool. I do like a Snoopy Sabretooth pairing. That's kind of fun. But I go for Snoopy and Lobo.
Rowan J in chat says Snoopy and Death of the Endless.
It's adorable.
You got what every dog gets. You got a life. Good grief. All right. Is that the end of the questions, or do we get another one?
Oh, yeah, I have one. If you want to go for the full 3, yes. I've got one. And
Hellstorm said Snoopy and Dynamite. Another strong suggestion. Joshua Mundhall said Snoopy and Batmite. I can see that.
Mm.
Go ahead, DILF Man.
Thank you, sir. From Homie? I don't know why I try to pronounce these things. Summing up the question is, in your professional opinions, do you think we're going to get enough solo Marvel projects to effectively carry us to Doomsday and Secret Wars?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Do you think they have enough runway still to do this reset and take us into Doomsday and Secret Wars? Are there enough solo stories between now and then to really effectively carry us there?
Are we sure we want to do that as the third question? Usually there's lots of fancy where we get to create things. That sounds like a simple yes or no question.
Well, okay. What's the one?
Now I'm directing the show. How does it feel, Will?
I feel inadequate every week I do this, so you can't tear me down any further, sir.
Do something a little more flight of fancy, something we can play with.
Laura D.
Here, while you look it up, I'll read this. Ramones fan 990 says, question: I would love to know what Kevin's thoughts are about the passing of the great George Lowe. George Lowe passed away, folks. George Lowe, as many folks might not know, but those in the know, was the voice of Space Ghost.
Indeed.
Space Ghost, Coast to Coast. So Ramones fan 990 says, how my episode came about. How did I wind up on Space Ghost, Coast to Coast many years ago? Circa 1997, wearing a vest. It was around the Chasing Amy press time. And so Chasing Amy was a buzzy little movie. And so they were like, hey, man, we know you like comics and cartoons. You want to do this? And I went to a place and shot against a green screen. And there was somebody in my ear from Atlanta. I think that's where the offices were. And they, interviewed me. And then it wasn't George, though, on the phone. It wasn't the voice of Space Ghost. But then he came in over it, and I got to hear me talking to Space Ghost, man. Much love and support from Kansas City. Space Ghost forever, says Ramones fan 990. Yes, passing of an absolute legend, a Titan.
To answer that previous question, which is not going to be the last question, are there enough solo superhero movies? There don't have to be. We have Fantastic Four coming this July. We'll have, first we have Thunderbolts, then we get Fantastic Four. This year, next year gives us Doomsday, 2026. And then the year after that gives us Secret Wars. And somewhere sandwiched in between there, you get Spider-Man 4, probably in July of 2026. So it's not like there's a giant runway that you need to fill with a bunch of superhero stuff to get you there. They have announced that they're going to make a Shang-Chi 2 at some point. They're definitely making a Black Panther 3 at some point. There may or may not ever be a Blade movie, but that doesn't need to fill the void leading up to Avengers movies.
Booyah in chat says, Kevin, I finally got my Dicklet shirt. That's right. If you're a beardless, dickless me fan, kids, podcast I do with my daughter, who just texted me. You can, whatchamacallit, find it over at her Instagram. Probably at beardlessdicklessme.com as well. Isn't that right, DILF Man?
Yeah, there's a link.
DILF Man?
There's a link.
All right, you got a third question?
I mean, honestly, not really. This one's, because this one's not very uplifting. Because it's like, what's the one franchise you would not enjoy seeing updated or crossed over with something else? But, bending that it's on its ear, what's your untouchable franchise? The one thing where it's like,
do not fucking put him in a modern, don't put his hat backwards. Don't Poochie Bullwinkle. When they did that movie a few years ago, and when I say a few years ago, I think I mean 20, like 2000, 2005. But the live action Rocky and Bullwinkle with Robert De Niro playing Fearless Leader, and Jason Alexander and Rene Russo playing Boris and Natasha. It was very true to the show. So even though they were in a modern setting, and at one point they were both driving a car, but to be fair, they drove a car in the cartoon a few times as well. But yeah, I don't need that like updated. I know that there is a recent Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon that they've done, I think for Amazon, that Tara Strong does the voice of Rocky, the flying squirrel for. Okay. So they may modernize that. Perhaps they fuck around with iPads and shit, but that would be my, and it's not even so much a sacred cow. I mean, do what you want with it, but I wouldn't be interested in Rocky and Bullwinkle I don't even like it when they did a Jay and Silent Bob as Rocky and Bullwinkle t-shirt years ago. And that was a real fucking like, fucking bridge too far for me. Cause I was like, well, I don't like bastardizations of Rocky and Bullwinkle, but I do like self-promotion. But even that I was not a big fan of. So yeah, that's my keep him pure, keep him back when and it's timeless. You don't need to improve that fucking show, man. It's so fucking, it still works. You can go to YouTube when you're fuck our show. You go to the search button, right, in a search bar, enter Rocky and Bullwinkle uncut episodes. Just watch Upsidaisium or the Hushaboom. Like, this is some brilliant shit, man. Really funny shit.
Fuck our show, and we'd like to thank the folks at Mando.
Go watch another thing.
They like Rocky and Bullwinkle as well. Mando. All right. That's mine. What about you, Mark?
I think it's Back to the Future. I don't really need to see anybody else try to do that. I know it will happen at some point. I know that the gatekeepers, the stewards of that particular franchise at some point will pass away, and Universal will just be like, yeah, we're going to do this. Of course we're going to do this. But I hope they hold out. I hope there's some contractual language that prohibits it. I stumbled on this thing in the internet, which of course must be true because I found the internet, detailing the reason why Eric Stoltz got fired as Marty McFly. And they said that ultimately it was because his perspective on Marty McFly was too far from the kind of movie they wanted to make. Even Eric Stoltz he believed that the ending of that movie is a tragedy because Marty McFly returns to not his family, but to just people who look like his family, but who are fundamentally strangers to him, and would be at a loss and depressed and alone in a world that is not his. And the like zippy, hey, wow, this is great, is diametrically opposed to the way that Bob Gale and Zemeckis and Spielberg always saw the ending of that movie, where Marty McFly is thrilled because he has a pickup truck now and his parents are rich. And they were like, no, that's not the movie we're making. He's going to be thrilled because he has a pickup truck and his parents are rich. And Eric Stoltz was like, no, that's wrong. And so they fired him.
Gab Cup in chat says, referring to me talking about like, don't fucking modernize Rocky and Bullwinkle. He wrote, and now here's something we hope you'll think is lit. That would kill me. Oh my God, I would hate that so much.
Yeah.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a Tesla out of my hat. No! I have, I'm not going to say I've made a study of Back to the Future and why Eric Stoltz was recast, Mark, but I have read a bunch and watched a lot of things. And what it sounds like,
yes,
is that Eric Stoltz was in that point in his career where he was in his head a bit about acting. You know, some actors treat it very, 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 very seriously. And, you know, it's a craft like anything else and whatnot. But this movie was, as we are very well aware, very light in touch, lovable. You know, Back to the Future is just tastes like a happy childhood. Even if you didn't grow up in the era it was made, or the era it depicted. But it sounds like he was, you know, like he was a little very Chalamet. And that's not criticism, like Chalamet is this guy, but it's like he treated acting very fucking seriously. And these cats were like, you go back in time, you almost fuck your mom. And he's like, well, that's the real tragedy. Real tragedy of this is I go home and my family is gone. They're all different. Like I can understand, you know, the Oedipal complex, but losing my sister and my brother and watching them become serious business people when I return. So, yeah. And it was probably like, you know, what are they going to do? Fire me? Like, I don't think it was like arrogance, but like, you know how rare it is that somebody gets fired off a fucking movie and shit?
In production,
especially. And they were deep. Like, you know, in that recent re-release, you know, or Blu-ray they did, I guess he finally allowed them to like show some footage. And what's the gentleman who plays Biff?
Yeah, his name.
Thomas, is it Thomas? I don't know. He's wonderful. You see his video periodically pop up in the timeline where he sings the song about quit asking me the question. Like everyone he's ever met asks him questions about Back to the Future, and he fucking sings and it's this song where he answers all the questions. Very fun. But he said that Eric Stoltz's hand is in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, look, I shot with Eric Stoltz, and there was a moment that his hand comes in or whatever fuck that I know for a fact they didn't reshoot. So he's like, I'm 100% sure that's Eric Stoltz's hand in the movie. But he also said, he gave some interview on a podcast or a radio show, and he was the one that said that Stoltz was a little like actory. Stoltz also like, you know, I guess there was a moment where he pushed Biff or something like that. And he said that like Eric took that real fucking serious, and he was like, I was gonna fucking punch him in the mouth. Tom Wilson. Thank you, Brian Koch in chat. Pat DeRose says Stoltz went full mask. Never go full mask.
Only half mask. 3/4 mask at best.
Jakander, it says no remaking Short Circuit. Bullshit. You can totally fucking remake that movie. That ain't sacred.
No.
The robot coming to life. tale as old as time.
And I don't think you could, well, I'm going to stick to it. I don't think you can remake a Mel Brooks film. I think they tried with the producers, which is kind of the object lesson that you really can't.
The play went gangbusters, but the movie itself.
Yeah. But like about that moment in time, those performers, like, yeah, you could take the script for Young Frankenstein and just try to do it. But I don't know if there's any point, really.
I mean, this is not gonna. I don't think this is a hot take, but all this talk about Back to the Future is making me want to watch Back to the Future. I haven't seen Back to the Future in a red hot minute.
And that's Inception.
Yeah, that worked. That's marketing right there.
Indeed. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to pound another Celsius and watch Back to the Future.
River Dave in chat said History of the World Part 2 didn't really work out. That was on Hulu, right? They did a History of the World.
Yeah. I mean, it's less a remake and just more a sequel extension, which I think is different than a remake. Like Chef Wade is like, Josh Gad is making Spaceballs 2. Like, again, it's a 40 years hence sequel, not quite a remake, but.
Tony Martinez in chat said, just finished the latest episode of Beardless Dickless Me. Just wanted to tell Kevin the reason Paul Simon performance is a little off on SNL because Paul Simon's going deaf. Oh, believe me, I knew, but I mean, I associated it with just age. I was saying on the show, I was like, this guy's 82 years old, man. He can't quite hit, the notes he used to and whatnot. But I guess what Tony's saying is specifically it's because he's losing his hearing. Did you watch the SNL 50? We talked about this.
Yeah.
Him and Sabrina Carpenter, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely fucking charming. Chef Wade in chat says Josh Gad is making Spaceballs too. Kabuki Kid says don't remake any Stanley Kubrick movies. Oh, you're going to see another Shining in this lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, you might have already. Like,
you might have seen the Mick Garris one.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, that'll happen again for sure. You know why? Nobody talks about The Shining anymore. It used to be one of those movies that was like everybody saw it. It was canon if you ever liked movies whatsoever. But these for this modern kids, they're like, no, man, the Conjuring universe, bruh.
Although I do remember that there was a groundswell of love for The Shining when Dr. Sleep came out and they recreated the Overlook Hotel, kind of like, picture perfect. And there was a little bit of like, oh yeah, just. But the cult of that stuff, the cult of Kubrick it's now a handful of faithful as opposed to legion as it was.
Some folks in chat reminding me that the band Cinnamon featuring Harley Quinn Smith released a music today. They dropped a single.
Ooh.
Star. It's on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube Music, Amazon Music, wherever you get your music and stuff.
What does she perform in said musical endeavor? Is she the bass player?
Well, she's a singer.
Didn't
I was like, gee, she used to be a bass player. I was like, did you play bass on this? She goes, no. Like, you learned to do that. She was like, I don't do it. There are people who are better at that than me. Why would I do that? I was like, all right, fair enough. But it's good, man. I like the song very much. It's weird because I don't have any musical background. I don't know anybody like in my family was ever in music or anything. So to have somebody like write a song, like, I fucking picked her brain the same way I picked Alanis Morissette's brain fucking 25 years ago, where I was like, what comes first, the music or the lyrics? And both said the same thing, like kind of both. I was like, how is that possible? Like, because you just hear it in your head. I was like, but how? It's like fucking somebody asking me, how do you write?
Where do your ideas come from, Kevin?
Well, basically, I go, what would Jay and Silent Bob do today? And then I take a Bible, flip through the pages, and then point to a random word. And whatever that word is, they're either striking back or rebooting or
I love the reboot chapter of the Bible.
yes. when
The New Testament.
when Christ came back, he rebooted.
Lazarus, king of the reboot.
Oh my Lord, I have so much news to offer. I just can't say it yet, man. But don't forget, tomorrow, kids, in the morning, Hollywood Reporter gonna have a little piece of information about the future, some project I'm working on. Ain't a movie, it's a comic book. Then I got stuff to share. I just can't share it yet. I'm not allowed to yet, but soon, coming into an active period of time, kids. I guess we're out of content though, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could keep fucking around. I got no place else to go.
Do you want to make love, or do you just want to fuck around?
I got no place else to go.
Kabuki Kid says I'm chomping at the bit to tell us. I really do. I would like to say, but it's fun. I had a good time doing it, and I've seen the artwork so far. I saw, speaking in chat, somebody said, Jab Cup says, I think it was in Revolutions where the Golgothan appeared, LOL. Speaking of Revolutions and Revelations, I saw that we're getting a Blu-ray release.
Ooh.
They're doing season 1 and season 2 on a Blu-ray.
That's fucking awesome.
Love it. One more thing to sign. Sorry, I ruined your childhood, Kevin Smith. I loved Revelations and Revolutions. I know I'm taking my life in my hands when I say that, because then a bunch of people come out and tell me how naughty I am. But some good shit, man. Some good times. Good ass.
I look forward to people bringing you Matrix Revolutions and Revelations. Just to be like, sign these, Mr. Revelations.
Sorry, we tried.
You're welcome.
Of the third Wachowski. Jerome King says, Kev, blink twice if it's a DC Comics and Jane Silent Bob crossover. It's not that.
Stop it. Stop it. Like, well, is it midnight on the East Coast yet? Can I?
Yeah, I got a lot of comic book news coming. I can't, I'm not gonna say what it is. But I might be hanging out around the hallowed halls of a comics organization I spent some time with in my youth.
Penthouse Comics, you say?
It was a lovely little visit that may turn into something more. But that's later. That's like fucking the end of the year next year. What's coming up, what they're announcing tomorrow? Ooh, you're gonna have that in your hot little hands in July, kids. It's time for Comic-Con. Slap that shit in front of me and I'll tag it, man. The third Wachowski. Have a big signing at the Stash. Have a big lunch. It's gonna be good times, man.
Excellent.
I love fucking comic book work, man. Because what's beautiful about it is I wrote these scripts a while ago. Like I'm seeing all these covers for my Secret Stash Quick Stops run that starts after the book that's coming in July. And it's so fucking cool when somebody sends you artwork and you're like, oh my God, I forgot I wrote this. And then I put it up against my script and read it and look at the pages because there's no balloons there yet. Shit. Oh, one of my favorite pastimes. That shit. So I've been doing lots of that. I saw some sweet covers, man. The thing that's getting announced tomorrow, I saw they got multiple, there's gonna be multiple covers for it from a bunch of different artists and shit. And I saw one of the covers. I guess I can, maybe I shouldn't say. It was by somebody who I've worked with before and stuff, but gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. So yeah, man, comics in my future.
Coming.
Hopefully it won't. Hopefully, we're not going to get tariffs on comics, and they won't climb up to $400 an issue and shit like that.
As long as they're not coming from Canada, you should be fine. Wait, don't all comic books come from Canada?
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, they all come from Quebecois.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just a small American businessman, Mark.
I'm just an American man.
Thank God I got fucking a couple different plates spinning, man. If one goes down.
Yeah. It's the only way to
That
fly.
stash, I'm telling you right now, I will operate the secret stash at a fucking loss if I have to reach year 37.
No choice.
Come on, man. What a commitment to a fucking joke that would be. Even if I had a loss, even if it's like I have to mortgage my house, but we're getting a year 37 at the secret stash. We are currently on year 28. 28 years of a brick and mortar.
Astounding.
Yeah, I'm not just I don't just read comic books, Mark. Or I'm not just a comic book store owner, Mark. I'm a client.
See, the baller move would be to stay in business till year 37 and then without warning, just close the doors.
Yeah.
You know what? We're done.
I'll thread that needle over the next few years. I'm gonna be like, we're gonna stay in business until Thursday, but then the day after we hit year 37, I'm gonna be gone. The fucking store is gonna disappear. So people will talk about it forever.
Yep. But literally, like the store is gone. Like it's just an empty lot.
Yeah, believe me, I got David Copperfield on speed dial. He got rid of the Statue of Liberty. Remember? You can get rid of the secret stash.
I remember discovering, and you can watch it. Did we talk about?
I'll have John Cena do it and shit. Then when he's doing it, he turns around and kicks me in the balls instead. I'm like, you fucking heel.
Where's the toe? There's a clip.
Oscar Jara in chat said, "Oh my God, the Powerpuff Girls trailer was something." Did you see the Powerpuff Girls trailer?
I did indeed.
And
I think there were some things that maybe should just stay in the medium where they began. Not everything. I'm not a purist on all things. I think that, there's definitely a place for live action adaptations of animated material. But this does not seem to be a thing that anybody wanted and or needed.
How does something like that get out? And then how does, I guess there's no CW left.
No CW left.
Well, I mean, there's a CW, but it's just not the way that it was. So if that trailer gets out, the current CW people, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they were never going to make that show. But yeah, it feels tone deaf in lots of ways, and also just not funny. It's not funny.
I'm sorry. I'm just
reading the comments.
I am reading, and they're all good. Like, it's nothing bad. It's been a good night for chat. Wasn't a bunch of people getting mad or fucking telling us we're doing shit wrong.
I mean, we are, but still.
But I don't need nobody reminding me. Yeah, Kabuki Kid says, Kev, print some new Jeff's Kiss shirts, you bum. That's a good point. You know what? Maybe we should freshen up the artwork. Oh, Nate. Oh, Dark Nate. Perhaps we do a new Jeff's Kiss shirt design.
Ooh, maybe in time for some
marketplace, man. Fucking, then we have something to sell on this show. Mando, and our shirts. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, only if the new artwork is the depiction of Mark's hands across America, where we're all attempting to save ourselves by giving Galactus one massive hand job.
Oh, I like it. I do like that. Yeah, a lot of people back in the new Jeff's Kiss artwork idea.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
Anthony Peters says t-shirt, doing it wrong. Why? Nobody does t-shirts anymore? What do we do instead? I'm listening, chat. Always takes a few seconds for it. Jeff's Kiss shirt with Jeff Goldblum cooking over stove, says Isaac Ruggles. I don't want to pay them Jeff Goldblum prices.
Mm-mm.
Kev, your buddy Robert Kirkman just wrote an amazing episode of Invincible, says Angelus GNZ. Well, Robert Kirkman is a really good writer.
He is indeed.
Kirkman, he knows what the fuck he's doing, man. And he's a good guy. Good dude. Richest motherfucker on the planet.
Island money.
So wealthy. Like, honestly, before I make any movie, I always go to him first. Be like, would you like to finance a motion picture?
Comics' one and only oligarch.
One and only oligarch. Invincible is happening right now, kids, as we're reminded in chat. And it's still fire. Show's fucking firing on all cylinders.
I would like to hear that.
The new episode is crazy good.
Can you say that in Bullwinkle's voice? Still fire.
Hey, Rocky, this episode of Invincible was fire. Nothing up a sleeve. Presto.
See, you keep arguing against updating it, but I still see gold in them hills.
Hey, Rocky, this is pretty woke. See, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to hear Bullwinkle talk about being woke. Dibbler rules in chat says Creepo-Rama Dogma drop. That's right. The good folks at Creepo-Rama did Dogma shirts.
Fuck yeah.
Dogma's coming back, kids. More information. That's another thing I can't tell you about yet, but oh my God, do I have information about Dogma?
You got too many secrets, man.
Too many secrets, man. C-Tech Astronomy right here. Let me tell you something. I saw something I ain't seen in 26 years. Marketing concepts for Dogma.
Oh, outstanding.
New posters for Dogma. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, I'm old enough and I've been around long enough where I did this once. It's all happening again. More news soon, kids. Did you like Dogma? Get ready for its resurrection. Oh, it's a big year. God, I hope the heart attack doesn't come back and claim me. I got a lot to do this year. It can come. It's just got to wait until after I'm done with shit. Once I put all that shit to bed, then, boom, because then that shit will sell. Oh, my God. Finally, a Kevin Smith movie that makes $100 million, but I'm not here to see it.
Dear Academy President, he's got to be in the in memoriam. Here's exactly what he wanted.
And when they put that, thank you, Mark. Good looking at it. And when they put that and it runs and I'm dead, I'll be looking down. Let's be honest. I'll be looking up from the depths of hell and be like, I wish I'd been more moral. I wish I hadn't broken so many commandments. There were only 10.
Broke them all. And I do it again.
There it is, kids.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, now people are asking about Dogma. I can't.
Shut it down.
Trust me, it's coming soon, though. Yeah, I'll get in trouble if I say anything.
How about you just remind people that they can see you March 22nd at Flappers Comedy Club in
Thank
Burbank.
You. I forgot because of what's coming up in our future. There is not a lot of live performance activity going on for the next few months. Ergo, I'm making a feature. But there is going to be a show March 22nd. Me and Ralph, Hollywood Babylon. Is this one at Flappers?
Yes, it is.
Is it Flappers? The Kavina show was fucking phenomenal.
Oh my gosh! Can I tell you? First of all, they did something.
Mark, we should go down there and do a live Fat Man Beyond. The guy who owns the theater is like, bring anything you want.
Let's go.
I have never received from a venue isolated recordings of just the talent and then everything else. So I was able to make that show sound. It was audibly pleasant as much as it was orally entertaining.
It is, yeah, they're good people over there, man. They run a hell of an operation. So yeah, we should do a Fat Man Beyond down there. JC's like, why don't you do one at the bar, dick? Well, we do that too. But we need to do them quick. Well, not quick, but we need to do them before, say mid-April-ish.
Fair enough.
Then you lose me. Then I'm out of pocket for a minute. But I'll be able to do Fat Man Beyond from set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I could always come to set and we can do one just from your fucking dressing room.
Yeah, come to set and I won't give you any lines and you could be in the movie, same as it ever was.
I mean,
this time you might speak.
No, don't even promise that. Don't dangle that thick line cut.
Fuck you. I at least put you in my movies. I'm a fucking picture in the background of yours.
Yeah. Revenge.
Mark told me, he goes, you're overexposed. I'm just gonna put you in a picture in the back of the frame. I was like, all right, fuck.
Okay, man.
Okay, kids. What is this? River Dave said Kevin showed us the original Dogma trailer early at a UCF event in Orlando back in the day. You were there?
Aw.
We still talk about that show, me and Jennifer, because that was like early in our relationship, and she was like 8.5 months pregnant, sitting in the back of that show, and that was like one of those shows where I just kept going. It was like a 4 or 5 hour show. Wow, man, small world. I remember you.
I read all your books.
Looking out in the audience. The John Wilder? Have all your books. God, that was good. There it is, kids. Did you have a good time hanging out? Well, if you want to thank somebody, thank the good folks at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Go support him, man. Fat Man at checkout, all one word, FATMAN. You can give you money off and shit. They got good products. They sponsored this here episode. We thank them. We thank all of you for hanging out with us. You could be doing anything. You could be doom scrolling through YouTube, watching depressing news and shit. Instead, you did the smart thing. You did the right thing. You came here, put your mind on hold. You let me and Mark do all your thinking for you.
Mando.
We didn't piss anybody off too much this week with Mark being like honest. So
you got to stop being so honest, man.
Mark and his commitment to truth. Fuck. So he's getting us yelled at and shit. Daredevil, check it out. Paradise, check it out. Go check it out. Go check it out. What else are we firmly recommending?
Honora apparently is pretty good. If you
Honora won some awards, so fuck. Sean Baker, Jersey filmmaker.
All right.
The toys that built America.
The food that built America.
The mega brands that built America. Yeah, these are all that built America. Totally worth your fucking time. Odor candy. Oh, yeah. Candy. Reacher. Totally worth your fucking time.
Greatest American Hero. Still a banger.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
You can't have either shit.
Put iPads in their hands or backwards baseball caps. They can't vape.
No.
They must not vape.
Don't do it.
They can't vape. Oh God, don't let it vape. That's my acting. Where's my award? Fuck, man. I'm a modern day Adrian Brody. I can give a long speech. Kids, thanks for hanging out with us.
Indeed.
Making two middle-aged men feel relevant for a moment in time. We're going to return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Did you enjoy yourself? Well, you better thank fucking DILF Man. He's the one that fucking got us to you. He's your pusher. There he is. Look at him.
I'm the middleman.
No, he's a pusher. He's a big old pushy.
Mr. Pusher Man.
Pushy. You sweet, hot, wet pushy. Yeah.
I'm not very comfortable with this.
Your name is Pushy Galore. Of course.
Get your pushy over here. I'm going to give you some net head. Thank you.
Which, by the way, thank you for being unwitting advertising partners for the 400th episode of Netheads. The moment Mark just, out of probably just the kindness of his heart, says, for putting off the 400th episode of Netheads. And you'd think there was a small part of me that was a decent human that was just like, oh, that was really nice of him to say. But no, instantly I heard that and I'm like, I can use that. But thank you. I really appreciated it, guys.
Pat DeRose in chat said, DILF is happy Kingpin. That's how she sees you.
That's the other thing, too. I spent 24 hours making this stupid helmet, almost losing my vision from whatever the hell toxic chemicals I put on it. I'm just like a white dinner coat and no glasses away from doing Kingpin cosplay just by being me.
Or, as Goober points out in chat, thanks, Michael Chiklis.
Fair enough.
So you could also be rocking the shield, my friend.
Could be.
Melanix Halide in chat says, deepest, darkest updates? Oh, yeah, right at the top of the show.
Yeah, scrolling on back, my friend.
Go back to the top, man. Mark will tell you all about it, including you said who's in it, right? You said,
oh yeah,
Rosario fucking shot, and she looks phenomenal, and I saw a little bit of performance, and she fucking delivers as she always does. It was nice to see her acting opposite Tiffany.
Wasn't it though? Like Tiffany was so fucking happy. She's a generally happy person.
I was gonna say, like, fucking, how could you tell? She's always so positive.
She's the happiest unicorn I know, but like she was just the most delighted person on that set all day, every day.
She's a good kid. I don't know if they announced it yet, so I don't know if I could say.
Is she writing a Master Universe comic book? They
announced it? Yes. She's getting to write an Andra book.
Yeah.
Which is the character she played. She was so excited about it. It was good for you. I mean, she'd been in the geek space forever and shit. Good kid.
She's having a moment, which I love it.
You know who else is having a moment, kids? The guy who makes the show watchable. Maestro Marc Bernardin over there. Hair directore.
With no hair.
Yeah. Hairless directore. Join the club.
Ridiculous.
What you gotta do is get yourself a backwards baseball cap, my friend.
I've been told. I've been missing that. That's the thing that's missing from my fucking arsenal.
100%. I'm back to basic black, as you can see.
Very Amy Winehouse of you.
Thank you. I can't thank you enough for hanging out with us, kids. Good time sitting around chit-chatting this bullshit. Nice distraction, man. Make sure you find something creative to do this week, kids. Never mind. It's fun to watch people, make their shit, but also way more fun to make your own shit. So go write a reacher this week.
Yeah, go punch a dude in the dick on paper.
100%. Just for the fuck of it. You never know. Brian Lynch, a friend of mine, one of the funniest human beings on the fucking planet. He does a podcast as well. Forget what it's called. Hey, I'm in that or something like that. I forget. But he's a great guy, Brian Lynch. Brian Lynch wrote a Muppet movie years ago. Right now, somebody in chat's like, he told this story this is like that X-Files story. He always says Brian Lynch wrote a Muppet movie just for the fuck of it because he was a big Muppet fan. Not even a spec script because you don't own, somebody owns the Muppets. So I remember when he did it. I don't know if it was my agent at the time, if he wound up represented by Endeavor before it was WME, or if it was with Phil Raskin. So I think I turned Phil Raskin onto him. I was like, Brian Lynch, one of the most prolific fucking writers I ever met. Fucking Henson bought that script.
Wow.
And they never made the movie, but it got him out here and he became like a regular writer. And for many years, Brian made an incredibly healthy living writing movies that never got made.
Yeah.
Then he hooked up with the good folks at Illumination on a little picture called Hop. Then he worked with them on Puss in Boots. Then he worked with them on a little motion picture called Minions, Secret Life of Pets. He became like their go-to guy. Brian Lynch works on all the stuff that makes your kid fucking happy. They pay him billions of dollars to have the Minions say bananas. And that's all because he took a step toward creativity. He was like, you know what? I love the Muppets. I'm going to write a Muppet script. Not because somebody gave me money to do it. Not because I have any expectation this is going to be a reality. But he thought it'd be fun. He was right. And it also turned out to be his future. You know, he makes a damn good those. I don't know if you know this or not, Mark. If you pay attention to the box office, that sort of thing. Those Minions movies make a lot of money.
A little popular.
Very popular. And so that's just a little story, kids, to tell you that, like, you never know. And I know you're sitting there going like, I fucking don't know. It only happens to some people. Why not you? You know, Brian Lynch didn't sit there and go like, oh, it only happens to some people. I know a young filmmaker made a black and white motion picture once, and he didn't say that. And that filmmaker was Alfred Hitchcock. The movie was Psycho.
Steven Soderbergh.
There it is, my good friends. Go do something creative and fun for yourself and whatnot. Don't concentrate on destructive things. Go make something creative. It always feels good. And go give a dog a hug or a cat.
Good luck trying to hug a cat.
I know. They ain't into it.
This fuckers will shiv you right away.
George Carlin did that bit. He's like, cats are always ready to start some shit. Like, even when they're little kittens on their back, they go, it's true. All right, folks. Again, tomorrow morning, Hollywood Reporter, big announcement. Not movies, not TV show. Comics.
Indeed.
Comics, kids. Some of the biggest comic book news in the comic book industry you're going to read this year. You're going to read this news and be like, what? What? That's a thing? I want it. Yeah. It's going to be good times. Thanks for hanging out with me and Mark. You like the show, it's because of him. Give it up for Marc Bernardin.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
Our love to JC and Jenny and their burgeoning family.
Indeed.
Leave her alone now, JC.
Jesus.
Yeah, she'd been busy.
Let that woman sleep.
God damn it. There it is, my good friends. From the culture that pops. We were here to pop the culture. Now we're done. That is your Fat Man Beyond for this week. For Fat Man Beyond, I'm Kevin Smith.
And I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time, kids. Let me go a little warm on this.
Yeah, okay, bring it.
Yeah. Tune in next time. We'll bring the heat, as you can see. Same fat time, same fat channel. Smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Jeff's Kiss with a forthcoming new art t-shirt. Jeff's Kiss. This is from the cat. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the AKA Ask Kev Anything. Every saga has a 10-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith. Cheers,